Redistricting is a serious issue because how you draw the lines of a legislative district makes a lot of difference. You can intentionally shape a district to contain more Republicans than Democrats, and so that district is likely to elect a Republican. The people of Ohio recently amended the Ohio Constitution to reform how legislative districts are drawn, both for the state legislature and for the Ohio members of the National House of Representatives. The amendment provides in plain language that, quote, "the General Assembly shall not pass a plan that unduly favors or disfavors a political party or its incumbents," close quote. As events developed, the Ohio General Assembly was required to adopt a plan no later than September 30th of this year. The Democrats offered a redistricting plan for the congressional districts, but the Republicans failed to present any plan for discussion. Over the last 10 years, Ohio's voters have split in a ratio of 8-7 Republican to Democratic. Since there are 15 congressional districts, we would therefore expect a fair plan to have 8 Republican-leaning districts and 7 Democratic-leaning districts. In the last round of redistricting, the Republicans wound up with 10 seats and the Democrats wound up with 5 seats. This time around, the Republicans are not even pretending to offer a fair redistricting map. They are keeping their map secret until they reach the end of the process, and then the state legislature will flex its Republican supermajority to pass a plan with even more Republican-leaning seats. This is so regardless of the constitutional provision that prohibits a redistricting plan that unduly favors or disfavors a political party. In other words, the fix is in. Aggie and I drove up to Columbus on September 30th to attend the public hearing at the State Capitol building before the Joint Legislative Committee on Redistricting. Several of the speakers explained the virtues of the redistricting plan offered up by the Democrats, which acknowledged the 8-7 Republican advantage among the state's voters. The Republicans, on the other hand, pretty much admitted that they would vote on a winner-take-all Republican district map at the end of the process. One Republican legislator in the hearing even asked whether the word fair was in the redistricting amendment. It was that kind of day. Aggie had figured out early on that there was no point arguing in favor of the Democrats' district map. The fix was in. Instead, she decided to describe one-party rule, so she told them what she thought. Here is what she said to the Joint Legislative Committee that day in Columbus.
This is my proponent testimony for adoption of the redistricting plan proposed by Democratic Party members. I talk about the impacts of one-party rule. To end one-party rule, we need to stop gerrymandering. Many impacts and consequences follow one-party rule. Bullies now exert power in the United States of America because of one-party rule. One-party rule caused abandonment of most checks and balances on presidential power. The current president controls the Speaker of the House and the House of Representatives. Congress has been intimidated into failing to perform its responsibilities. The government bullies media, educators, lawyers, and allies. The government violates rights. For example, the right not to be arrested, imprisoned, deported, or murdered without cause. National Guard and the United States military have been deployed to our streets without cause. One-party rule to some means the ruling party can break promises, laws, and even the Constitution without consequence. We are all affected when somebody else decides what we can read and what history we can learn about or know. We are all affected when somebody else can insert government into personal and family decisions. Nearly at the very first of this current one-party rule, in January 2025, this administration stole our private information. Another early presidential action was the pardon and release of the January 6 militants who tried to overturn the 2020 election. Threats, intimidation, censorship, and corruption are results of one-party rule. If we continue on this road, we will no longer have a free country. We need to do our part to end gerrymandering and one-party rule right here in Ohio. Please adopt the redistricting plan proposed by Democratic Party members. Thank you for this opportunity to testify.
And that's what happened on September 30, the day Aggie socked it to the Joint Legislative Committee on Congressional Redistricting.